What is up, guys? Today is September 17, 11:49 a.m. I just currently finished working out. So I'll give an update. So last night, I bought another mentorship program, and it's for Max Person's course. That's basically his program name. It's course with a K. So yeah, I went ahead and joined his program. Um, Wanted to shoot this video because I noticed a pattern that's been happening to me. So this. I officially started this kind of editing stuff, building the business back in 2023. Basically, my first client or closed my first outreach client, right? So my first clients were on Upwork. I basically applied on jobs there, but the client where I landed, that's actually paying good, and I basically closed him because of an cold outreach, not through applying through jobs like on Upwork. I closed him on Instagram. His name is Connor. That was back then around maybe June, July 2023, right? And then throughout that course, I mean, our deal was he was also going to mentor me, teach me some stuff about running a business, and I did learn a couple stuff from him, which is great. But as the year ends, like around September, I think, or maybe I don't know, maybe July, August, September, October, around that range, I also invested in a lower ticket kind of coaching. It's like a 1 week kind of mastermind, not really a mastermind, but it's like a webinar. Okay, yeah. So it's a webinar. It's like a 3 days, 5 day webinar. Yeah, it's a 5 day. It's a 5 day webinar. That was around like $97. That's like, yeah, because I wanted to see how they run this kind of video marketing kind of stuff, and I was able to learn some stuff about there, but it was a bit complicated for me because they were teaching about funnels, go high level, and all this stuff. But I did learn a couple stuff from them, and I was able to enter a community where people might need a video editor, so that's good. But but yeah, and after that I also invested in another course. I think it was also 2023 where I invested in another course. Yeah, like late 2023, I think. Yeah, it was late 2023. I invested in Frederick Spahuus mentorship, and that costed me like $1,000, and I paid it in monthly. I paid it like 250 for 4 months, and it was great. I was able to learn a lot there. The only problem with there is I was so bad at sales. Like sales was one of the most complicated, and I fucking hated jumping on sales calls because I just didn't know what to say. Even in the DMs, right? Like doing outreach on the DMs, um, it was freaking tough. It was fucking it was fucking tough. But yeah, I'm looking at Frederick Spahu's course right now, just to summarize things that's been happening. But yeah, and I did learn about the basics of his business. Um, the only problem is it's only a course. Like there's no calls, there's no coaching calls, which I think it's one of the missing aspects. They do have the coaching course. I mean, they do have the coaching calls, but you have to pay extra, which I can't afford back then. So yeah, so that was on like fourth quarter of 2023, and then 2024 came in around mid 2024, like around maybe June, July. I was thinking of like putting my agency on pause, and well, before that, did I land any clients after Frederick's course. To be honest, no, I didn't. But I did learn a lot though. Especially, I got a lot of their tools that I'm still using. Their Notion tools, the way they build their Notion. So yeah, I was able to get some stuff from there, which is nice. And then after that course, around mid 2024, I decided to put my agency on pause to get really good at sales, because I think that's what's been holding me back. That's what's holding me back on landing clients. Like I hated doing outreach because yeah, I just didn't know what to say whenever they hop on a call. I was so stressed. I was so anxious that sometimes I almost feel like I want to puke right before the call. So that's what I did. I basically put my agency on pause. Decided to learn sales. I was um, how did I start the sales stuff? So I think yeah, I was talking to Connor Haley. Connor Haley is like a coach. Is like a sales coach. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to. I didn't jump on the call with him. It's just through the DMs, and I wasn't able to basically afford this program. It was too expensive. But I did found Diarmid. I did found Diarmid, and I found him because I think what's happening is I was going through. So basically, I asked my client Anthony first. So I asked my client Anthony, maybe he knows someone who needed training with sales. So what I did is I jumped on a call with one of his clients. He basically did some role plays, and as I was looking at the scripts, I was also looking at other people's script, and that's where I came across Dearman. I think I found his script on Facebook, I think, and then I basically went ahead, um, went through his school community, and I joined his school community, and then yeah, I joined. It's another coaching program, so I paid like 250 per month, but yeah, it's recurring. It's monthly. There's no upfront payment. It's a school community where you pay monthly. So I paid like 250 around. I think it was even 150 back then, and yeah, it was 150 back then. And then I joined his school community, learned sales, fitness sales. It was fitness sales, not really like a general sales. It was fitness sales. And then after that fitness sales, I was able to join the Committed Coaches company, um, which was fucking terrible. I think one of the reasons why I didn't continue doing the Committed Coaches because I was anxious. I put my agency on pause, so I was really making that much money back then. And with the Committed Coaches, yeah, it was also very slow. Like I mean that's part of the process, right? Like they're giving me leads, but the leads are super bad. I'm not getting any bookings, and I also felt kind of envious of other newbies there because they were like getting like they were all the like after they basically started the same time as me, but of course they were able to land. They were able to close a couple clients, and then they were able to get better leads, but I was still like trying to I haven't closed any, to be honest. I almost got a close. I remember I almost closed one, but they basically hang up. They basically hang up on me. I was almost about to get a close on Committed Coaches, but basically that's what I did. I was like calling leads, I'm dialing them, and then I'm basically making no money on Committed Coaches, which made me anxious. So I started to look for another offer, and then I found Eli Greer. So I'm not doing sales at that time for him. I was only doing appointment setting, but I was able to like get good money that time. I was making like $2,000, and $2,000 is like good amount of money here in the Philippines. But then as time goes on, like the first 2 months I was able to make $2,000, and then slowly slowed down. And then by the end of 2024 again, I basically used the money that I earned from Eli Greer and invested in another coaching program, which is Vince's Oprah's coaching program. And it's by far the best investment I've made to this day, because I learned a lot. And I was also actually able to get my return, because I was able to close a 1K client, and I also closed a couple kind of low ticket clients, but it helped me gain experience. It's helped me like feel more confident, because I'm now like able to close people. Like I've closed basically I've closed 3 people, right? And it's not a lot, but back then, like I would never been able to do that if I didn't like do the sales stuff, like learning a bit of sales, fitness sales. And then um, yeah, and that's like the end. Yeah, that's like the November 2024. I basically invested in Vince's Oprah's coaching program, and then 2025 came in. That's where I'm like implementing what they taught us, doing outreach, building out YouTube videos. But one thing I realized is I started to hate the agency model. One is because I hate the deadlines. Like I hate it. Just feels like a job, you know. And yeah, I'm building it's a business. Like I can hire people, but whenever there's a problem, it's like, hey, something happened. It just feels sucks, you know. And I kind of feel anxious every time I'm going to do a YouTube video, because like I'm always like, hopefully this video goes viral, you know. Hopefully this video goes good, and then whenever it goes bad, I have to report it to the client, and I feel like shitty because it didn't perform well. Now I feel like I'm wasting their money, but I mean that's part of the process. But I'm thinking what I'm planning to do now is basically I'm gonna make myself as a client. I'm not going to edit. I'm not going to take any new clients. What's going to happen is I'm going to treat myself as the client. I'm going to do the YouTube videos myself. I am going to edit. Maybe I can outsource some of the editing, but the heavy parts I'm going to do the editing myself. And then build the YouTube brand. And I think if I want to continue the agency model, then the YouTube stuff, I could use that as a case study. But yeah, and today is September, and then I invested in another coaching program, which is Max Person's coaching program. So I think that's basically the pattern that I'm seeing, like every year, like at the end of the year, around the Burr months, I looking for something to invest on, and I'm kind of switching. It's not like I'm switching, it's more like gaining more information, gaining more knowledge. Like I hated sales, so I started doing sales. Right now I mean back then I had no idea how to run an agency. Also, I invested in an agency course, which is Frederick Spahuus. And then after that, I invested into some sales stuff because I don't know anything about sales. And then I invested in Vince's Oprah's coaching program to get really dialed in on the agency stuff. But then I realized like I have no proof that I can show, right? So there's a lack of skill. There's a lack of basically. So I don't see this as a shiny object syndrome. I think I see this as just like building my lack of skills, or acquiring the skills that I lack, right? So yeah, so in my early days, 2023, I lacked the skill of knowing how to run an agency, using tools, using SOPs. So I was able to get that from Fredericks, And then I realized that while doing that, I lacked the skill of sales. So I went ahead, I put the agency on pause. I basically hopped on a sales coaching program for a bit, and yeah, it helped me get a bit confident hopping on sales calls, not by a lot, but it was definitely super helpful. And then once I realized, okay, I think I can basically um, um, go back to the agency stuff, which I did. I went back on Vince's program to run the agency back. It did great. There's a lot of sales calls that went super bad, but there's also some sales calls that did really well. So that's good. But I realized that I lack my skills of building a brand, right? So I think that's my main focus right now is building a brand on my own so that when I hop on sales calls, if I decide to continue my agency, I have like, hey, I basically preach, I basically do what I preach, right? So basically focusing on YouTube. Honestly, I wasn't even expecting to do YouTube back then. I was expecting to short form, but I think YouTube is a great platform. Um, because of Vince Oprah's program, it would help me to, um, yeah, realize the best platform to do the agency stuff, which is YouTube, because like it's such a headache to do YouTube stuff, and you won't get you're going to see a lot of editors who can do long form, but not a lot that can make it educational or make it the viewer understand what the creator is talking about on his YouTube video. But basically, I digress. Um, yeah, just an update. I think that's what's been happening. I think there's another chapter for me. It's another season for me. 2026. I'm not sure how it's gonna go, but what I know is I'm gonna go all in on this course stuff and see how it goes. Cheers.